Hey everyone, Once Bitten here. So we go to Game 2 of the Memorial Mayhem Team Tournament, and I am paired against a Highborn Elf army. This is one that I actually played in I think the last tournament that I posted about. Of course, I was playing my Beast Herds at the time. And so anyway, you might recognize the army. Obviously, we have a diagonal deployment. I chose to deploy first since I kind of knew what I was going to do regardless. We're playing the scenario where you need to get into your opponent's deployment zone. So overall, it looks like that already. Knowing my opponent had fast cav, I was kind of frustrated with myself not having prepared better against his fast cav. If you look in the lower left-hand corner. Of course, I get to go first, so it's not the end of the world, but still, one of these days you think I would learn. Anyway, starting on the left, he's got his Reavers over here. He's hiding his eagle way back on the far left side. Probably not necessary, if nothing else. He's got such a target-rich environment, I don't really see me targeting his eagle. He's got some 20 Citizen Spears, a Lion Chariot moving up from that. From the left, he's got a Frost Phoenix, then a Sky Sloop, then his Battle Standard Bearer on a Griffon. Behind them, he's got more Spears, and he's got his Mage in with those guys. The list is in the description. Then at the top, he's got Swordmasters, Archers, and some Knights of Rima with a banner that gives them, with their special rules in the banner, he's got Devastating Charge and Thunderous Charge. So that unit's definitely scary because it's the one thing in his list that my Battle Sphinx has no chance of holding up. They charge in at strength 7 with a lot of attacks. I guess I could probably hold up. He probably wouldn't do too many wounds to me, but it's still just a little bit scary. So I get to go first, so I move up just a little bit. Both of us are using that hill at the top middle to affect line of sight. Anyway, I move up and just kind of reposition. As you can see, my idea with down at the bottom is to take the Battle Sphinx, the one that's being proxied using the Dread Sphinx model from TMS, and he really doesn't have anything on that side that scares me too much. So I'm just going to use him to work around that piece of impassable terrain and just kind of try to encircle him a little bit. So magic doesn't do a whole lot. We go to shooting phase, and one of my stone throwers can't see his swordmaster, so it targets this unit instead, and I kill over a quarter, maybe a third of his archers. Force a panic test. Of course, he's on leadership 8 rerollable, and he passes it, but I kind of like this because with that unit getting weaker and weaker, then if he's in range of my bows, he's going to get to the point soon where his scholar isn't going to get any protection from the unit. So happy enough how that turned out. And then my other Treb hits the Swordmasters and kills just a bunch of them. I want to say almost half the unit. Also force a panic test, 8 rerollable, and he passes it. It's funny because when it's my army having to take an 8 rerollable panic test, you're so scared about it. When it's your opponent, it's like, yeah, you 8 rerollable, you should get it. So I'm sure this bummed my opponent out losing so many Swordmasters. I'm looking at it though, and those guys do so many attacks that even with all those wounds, if I don't do more wounds, then this unit is still almost as scary as it's always been. It's just they do too many highly accurate, high-strength attacks. So Highborn Elves go. Besides moving his archers on the hill, he actually isn't all that aggressive. He's kind of bunching his stuff up. I think it's kind of working a little bit with my Sphinx at the bottom, where he's, my opponent isn't getting too close to him. Here at the bottom, yeah, this is frustrating, mainly because I'm an idiot. I shot at him last time, didn't do any wounds. This next turn, I'm going to get to reform and shoot at him. I might be able to force a panic test, and if that doesn't work, then I think I'm going to lose one of my trebuchets real quick. With magic phase, yeah, easily he kills my fast cav. It's kind of a bummer. I was really counting on them to help out with his Knights of Rima. I guess if that was the case, I should have kept him behind my lines or something. His archers shoot and actually push a wound through on my Dread Sphinx, which is kind of funny. And then he gets a spell off. I think that's all magic phase, by the way. Because then he gets a spell off where he does all units take damage. And if I were playing a human army, this would really be frustrating, losing this many models. With this army, I think I'll get them all back on my next magic phase. So Undying Dynasties turn 2. Yeah, I just kind of reposition things, hold him back. I actually like my position here. He doesn't pose any threats to anything I have on the table except for that topmost unit of archers, and that's planned on my part. If he hits them with his Knights of Rima, he'll blow through them. Unless he rolls super high, he's not going to get out of line of sight of my Dread Sphinx, and then I'll have a counter charge. And he just doesn't have that much space to get away. And if I get the charge in, I'm pretty happy with my odds there. So liking my position. Then I do Bubble Dance Macabre or Bubble Evocation, one or the other, and regrow pretty much all my wounds. That's got to be frustrating to play against. Highborn Elves turn 2. He takes the bait with his Knights of Rima against my archers. I'm very happy with that. On the left, he's kind of, I assume, he's kind of hesitant to come in. He takes his Lion Chariot and actually backs him up. That Lion Chariot was around that piece of impassable terrain. I had things set up to where he didn't have a good charge against most things. If he failed to charge or moved at all, he was going to get charged by my unit in Necro Guard right by the impassable. So, yeah, I'm kind of liking the left flank, except for his eagle down there threatening some stuff. That isn't too awful scary, but not ideal. There's that. Go to shooting phase. He takes his archers against my Treb, does a couple wounds. That kind of surprises me, but not too awful worried. And after combat, yeah, so he blew through my archers. I think he overran and just didn't run very far, so I've got a flank charge with my Battle Sphinx. So I declare that charge, and he flees, and I think he rolls like a 12 and is like 1 inch from the side of the board, which just sucks. He took a real gamble there, because if he had rolled low, I would have had a chance to catch him. But then again, I don't know what his options were, because if he stays there and I charge him, he's kind of screwed as well. So now he's almost certainly going to rally, and yeah, kind of frustrating. If he rallies, I need to make that charge, but he's far enough away that it's not exactly an easy charge for me. Let's see. Otherwise, I push because he pulled back. I start pushing up really aggressively with my Necro Guard, and in hindsight, I think that's fine. Except I don't like how I have a conga line going with the 2 Necro Guard units. I don't really see the advantage that's giving me, and the 1 unit is probably just a little bit too exposed. The thing is, I'm just not afraid of his archers, and I'm not too afraid of his Battle Standard Bearer against a unit of Necro in the front. So there's that. Yeah, there's that failed charge. There's the targets for my Trebs. I think I only have 1 Treb right now. Anyway, and he can't see the Swordmaster, so he goes for the Sky Sloop and does 3 wounds out of 4. My Sphinx at the bottom charged his Lion Chariot and his archers. He fled with both. Which in my mind is like, I'd rather get the points, but at the same time I think they're kind of out of the game now, so I guess I'm okay with that. Shooting puts 2 wounds on the Eagle. That's great. Now he's very, very manageable, even if he gets the charge. Shooting here, I kill 2, force a panic test, and he passes on an 8. And then... Okay, so I don't know what happened to the Sky Sloop. I don't know when the Sky Sloop took the few wounds. That must have been last turn. Anyway, so Treb hits this unit, whittles him down even further. And we go to Highborn Elves, turn 3. So his Eagle on the left charges something and fails the charge. His Knights of Rima rally. He brings his archers up off the hill, and then positions his Swordmasters on the hill and has his BSB kind of behind him. That BSB is now really posing a threat because he can see my pretty much all my units, so it's going to be hard to hide my my Hierophant from him unless I just fly my Hierophant completely away from my troops, and then I can't really support well with magic because my magic buffs have relatively short range. So the Sky Sloop shoots at my Battle Sphinx and does a wound. Over here, I think his fast cav charged a catapult and killed it. Overran not very far. My knights can see him, and I can charge him. I think if I get the charge, I think I do well. If I don't get the charge, if I decide not to and just shoot at him, I probably do a wound. He probably passes his panic, and it's just kind of rinse and repeat. So we get Undying Dynasties turn 4. At the bottom, my archers charges fast cav, and he flees. So, okay, he's still on the table. His Yeah, I'm going to have to get up closer to show some of these things. So at the top, my Battle Sphinx charges his Sky Sloop, and I make it. I think I'm easily going to kill him. I think he only has 1 wound left. So I think I'm going to mop that up. Now up here, I charged 1 unit Necro into his Swordmasters, my other unit Necro, and my archers into his archers. And so my thinking was that the Necro going to the Swordmasters lose probably 10 models, and then I swipe back. So I think I crumble there, but I think in the process I killed 2 or 3 more Swordmasters. I really didn't have too many good ways to get those wounds off, and I wanted to be able to shoot my Stone Thrower at his BSB. So I was willing to sacrifice Necro to weaken his Swordmasters. If I get a few more wounds off, then my other units of Necros aren't too worried about them. Meanwhile, my Necro and archers charging his archers, I think I win that, overrun, and get a charge. Maybe if I'm lucky, 2 charges into his BSB. I'm hoping Necro into the flank. But the first unit failed their charge, and that blocked my other Necro unit, so now my archers are just going to hold things up. Not really worried about that. I'm not really worried about losing the unit of archers. The problem is that his BSB, if that happens, is probably now can charge whatever he wants. So yeah, I'm not sure what this is showing. One thing I can say, though, if you look at my, if you find his eagle and look to the left of him, I've got a unit of archers in kind of a 8x2 formation, something like that, and that's where my Hierophant is, and he is not on the corner. So if his BSB does charge, he's going to hit the flank of that unit. He's going to do a lot of damage, but he's not going to be able to touch my Hierophant. And my hope is he just, we stick around and I can regrow that unit and maybe just hold him up and keep my Hierophant safe. So get Evocation off. I heal that Battle Sphinx. Shoot at his eagle. Kill the eagle. Shoot his Swordmasters. And I kill some more of them. I think only 1, though. 1 or 2. And after combat, I think I make a big mistake here. I kill the Sky Sloop, and then I position myself so that I can see his I put the Lion Chariot and the spears in my front. I think the better thing to do here, I needed to pivot and face right and threaten his mage's unit, and more importantly, keep his Lion Chariot from being able to move up and then start to threaten my things. As it is here, he can just move up, get out of line of sight. I think if I offer his spears my flank and he charges, it's kind of scary because he's just going to have a lot of combat res. But at the same time, I don't think I've used my breath weapon yet. I haven't used my breath weapon yet. And between breath weapon, thunderstomp, and all my attacks, I think I still win that. So I think that's kind of a big mistake right there. Yeah, after combat, everything just ties up here. His Knights of Rima now can countercharge my archers and blow them up, and his BSB can charge my Hierophant's unit, which is not good. It's not great, but I wasn't really scared of it. I think we just end up holding each other up the rest of the game. And I have chances to countercharge. So we go to Highborn Elves turn 2, and he starts bringing stuff in. Swordmasters charge unit Necro. He's going to blow them up. He can overrun to another unit of Necro, and then I can countercharge. And I think that's as good as I can do against his Swordmasters. His Knights of Rima are going to blow up the archers, but then because his other unit of archers are in the way, he can't really overrun and do a whole lot, so that's fine. If you look at the top left, he moves his Lion Chariot out of line of sight of my Battle Sphinx, and that's where I'm really frustrated. That was just really bad positioning on my part. Yeah, I think that picture's out of order. Yeah, so there's that. And his fast cav rally and come up behind the hill. I get like 1 more chance to shoot at him, and of course I have the magic with what a casket. I can do some damage. After combat, yeah, so this is really bad, in case you're wondering. So, I mean, he blows up my archers, and now I have a flank charge with my Battle Sphinx. If he flees again, I just need him to get off the table. It's so frustrating. He's got a Frost Phoenix behind him as well. His Swordmasters, yeah, they're whittled down about as much as I could hope for there. Which really surprised me. I really thought he would blow up my unit and overrun into this bottom unit, and he didn't, and my unit just held up. I only lost 5 models total. I mean, he must have just totally failed his attacks. Oh, wait, I need to go back. And then his BSB does the opposite, and he kills or crumbles every single model in that unit, which just absolutely sucks. If I had one guy left, I wouldn't be in touch with him, and I could regrow and buy me some time to countercharge, blah, blah, blah. As it is, that just blows. So, Undying Dynasties turn 5. Battle Sphinx charges his Knights Arima. He flees, pops those Frost Phoenix, and is nice and safe. His archers flee. I countercharge his Swordmasters. I'm going to mop them up. If you look at the top left, my Battle Sphinx just moves over. I'm going to cast a Breath Weapon at his Mage's unit and just try to panic them off the table. Again, they'll be at like a 9 rerollable, but yeah, you never know. I'm really mad. His Lion Chariot is now in a position where he can charge a unit of Necro, and that's just really bad. He just does so many impact hits and then highly accurate, high-strength attacks before I get to attack that Lion Chariots actually scare me a lot. So there's that. I think I get a Casket off on the Reavers and destroy them, so that's nice. And he kills my Hierophant, and I crumble. Don't crumble too awful much. But now he brings the pain. His Frost Phoenix charge unit of Necro. His Lion Chariot charges the unit of Necro. He pulls his Mage out of his Spear unit. If you look at the top left, you can barely see the Mage hiding out of line of sight of my Battle Sphinx. He's basically going to give my Battle Sphinx's Spear unit and save his Mage. His Knights Arima rally a freaking course. So whereas up to this point in the game, I'm thinking everything is going fairly well, even losing my Hierophant. Now I'm like, oh, things are going to start crumbling. And I don't mean crumble through crumble, I mean just through battle. So the Lion Chariot blows up a unit of Necro. Frost Phoenix blows up one and gets tied in with another. I countercharge his BSB, and that the unit I did it with is pretty much dead. So my last turn, I'm like, where did it go so wrong? But I charged my Battle Sphinx into his Frost Phoenix. Hopefully that'll work. I charged a unit of Necro into his BSB. Not sure that's going to work, and I'm going to get countercharged. My Battle Sphinx top left goes into his archers. I'm easily going to win that. And when all's said and done, he just kind of sticks around with everything. Oh wait, this is still just action shots. Yeah, after combat, it didn't go well enough. Now he's going to get his Knights Arima. Those guys have fled twice and have still had time to rally, and then they're going to have time to charge again. I didn't get a single wound through his BSB. Very disappointed with that. This guy kills the unit, goes off the table, and now he comes in to mop up. So Knights Arima into the flank of my Battle Sphinx, Lion Chariot into the flank of the Necro Guard, and out of no, I was actually that game. I don't have too many games like this. For the whole game long, I think I'm doing pretty well, and then in the last turn, I'm like, well, shoot. This ended up being a 16-4 win to my opponent. Neither one of us got the scenario objective, thank goodness, because that was about to be a 19-1 for my opponent. Just everything fell apart there at the end. Yeah, I need to revisit this and see where I made my mistakes. I mean, a huge mistake. It seemed minor at the time, but my Battle Sphinx not pivoting, allowing his Lion Chariot to just walk up and get an easy charge range of my units was a huge mistake. It seemed minor at the time, but it wasn't minor, because then that guy got to charge in and start blowing stuff up. And had I pivoted my guy, he wouldn't have been able to do that. It almost would have forced him to keep his Lion Chariot out the rest of the game, or to combo charge the Lion Chariot and the spears into my Battle Sphinx. And that could have gone either way, but unless he got really lucky rolling sixes, I think I win that combat and take those units out. So, anyway, real interesting spin. If you see any other turning points in the game, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching the video. I truly hope you enjoyed it. As you know, YouTube has a variety of functions you can use to interact with videos such as this. You can like or comment on the video, you can favorite it, you can share it, and of course you can subscribe to the channel. And I encourage you to do any or all of those things as a way of interacting between viewer and producer. As always, I appreciate your patronage on the channel and wish you all the best.